What's up everyone, this is CyberKnight, and today I have a Blue Eyes White Dragon deck profile for you guys. So yes, of course, this is after the release of Legendary Collection Kaiba. As you guys can see, I'm using like the game board in the background because, you know, to fit with the theme and everything, besides actually like the design of this. And yeah, I mean, basically everything that is in this deck has been reprinted, and the Legendary Collection Kaiba has made it a lot easier to get, but you still have to deal with trying to track down some Blue Eyes alternative dragons, because for some reason those weren't reprinted, and that's really the only expensive card I feel like in this deck, because I try to go as close to budget. But yeah, Blue Eyes Alternative, still kind of a pain to get. Hopefully it'll get reprinted sooner than later. Still don't get why it wasn't in this collection. But anyway, let's go on ahead and start going through the deck and talk about the cards I'm using. Alright, so first off, obviously, gotta have 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons. I mean, Kaiba obviously approves of this, and I went with my 3 favorite artworks that we have. I still hope we get the Kaiba artwork with Blue Eyes White Dragon. But yeah, you gotta have those 3. I mean, it is what it is. You're using Blue Eyes, obviously you gotta have those. And to go along with that, I am using 3 Blue Eyes Alternative Dragon. Yeah, like I said, this card is really the only super expensive card, or, you know, the most expensive one I'm using in my build, just because I hadn't had a reprint. But basically, with Blue Eyes Alternative, it's like you have 3 extra Blue Eyes White Dragons, obviously, and all you gotta do is reveal Blue Eyes White Dragon, and you get to special summon this card. So, easy to get on the field. If you haven't heard about the card before, there's a reason I'm explaining that. And yeah, it's essentially giving you 6 Blue Eyes White Dragons. But that's really not all either, because I'm also using 2 of Dragon Spirit of White. This card is basically 2 more Blue Eyes White Dragons, to be very honest. What's nice, too, is that they can get rid of spells and traps. So, it's a dragon that can help you get rid of some back row cards. So, it's my spell and trap card destruction card, basically. So, you don't have to worry about, you know, having something like Mystical Space Typhoon or anything similar to that, because these dragons will do that. Not only that, they count as Blue Eyes White Dragon, and they can even become a Blue Eyes White Dragon. So, they do everything for you, just a little bit weaker with the 2,500. But yeah, I mean, obviously, it's like I said, you basically have 8 Blue Eyes White Dragons just having all these cards right here. So, obviously, helps out a lot. I still love that Spell and Trap card destruction, because you don't really want your opponent to have a back row when you're summoning all these monsters. You don't want to get torrentialed or something. Then afterwards, I'm using 3 of the White Stone of Ancients. This card, of course, I love the secret version of it, by the way. That's a Legendary Collection, looks cool. But this card is kind of like an upgrade of the White Stone of Legend in some ways. Because basically with it, it is a level 1 tuner. So obviously gives you access to your Synchro Monsters you're going to be using. And it's the card you normally want to discard or get to the graveyard, because at the end of the turn, then you get to bring out a Blue Eyes White Dragon from that. So it gives you an instant Blue Eyes, helps you go for Synchro Summoning, and also too, when it's in the graveyard, you can banish it, and then add a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your graveyard to your hand. So again, it's another way too to get Blue Eyes White Dragon, or even Blue Eyes Alternative. That way, then you can use Blue Eyes Alternative's effect, because you have to have Blue Eyes White Dragon in your hand, you reveal it, then you get Blue Eyes Alternative. So, you can get one or the other to your hand like that from this card's effect, and then just keep getting that Blue Eyes Alternative out there really easily. I mean, you get that 3,000 attack monster in your side of the field, there you go. It's just good to basically set up everything for the deck, and yeah, I mean, it's just awesome how it can do that. Also, of course, I'm running 1 of the White Stone of Legend. Basically, it just gives you access to Blue Eyes White Dragon. It goes to the graveyard, add a Blue Eyes from your deck to your hand. Just that simple, really. And then next up, of course, I gotta run 3 of Sage with Eyes of Blue. So yes, this was also reprinted, so it's a little bit easier to get now, and obviously this is another level 1 tuner that is amazing for this deck. I mean, it's something we've used ever since it came out for it, right? Yeah, basically with this card, what it does is that it can help you search for your other tuner monsters, so that's great. I mean, getting White Stone of Legend or the Ancients to your hand easily, then using, you know, it as kind of discard for fuel for other effects, that comes in handy. And also, it's another card that can help you instantly bring out a Blue Eyes White Dragon. So, it's just that simple. Pretty much all level 1 tuner monsters are that way, where it's just, oh, it's another way to bring out Blue Eyes even quicker. That's pretty much the gist of it. And obviously Sage is always a staple for Blue Eyes ever since it came out. You gotta use 3 of these, and it's amazing for that reason. Then after that, of course, I'm also running 1 of Master with Eyes of Blue. And I gotta say, first off, I love how it's an ultra rare in the Legendary Collection. That just looks amazing. But yeah, this card, what's great about it is that it helps you essentially recycle your other level 1 tuner monsters. You get to get one from your graveyard and get it back to you. And that's the main reason you're using it, just so you can get, like, whether, again, you want to go with Ancients or Stone of Legend or whatever, you're able to just get it back. So that obviously helps you out. And again, too, it is another level 1 tuner monster that can help you get out Blue Eyes to your side of the field. So it's just great to help you get back your tuner monsters to use them again. Plain and simple, really. And then for last row monsters, I'm using 3 hand trap cards, and they are 3 of Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. As if I could use Ash, right? Ugh. That case opening is always going to haunt my dreams. But yeah, actually, I prefer Ghost Ogre in this deck because I just like the ability it has with it. Being able to destroy a card helps out a ton on that. It's just a good counter to a lot of things. If you actually were lucky enough to get Ash and you have 3 of those, you might want to go with that if you feel like it. But honestly, I'm kind of a bigger fan of Ghost Ogre in this build, like I said. I mean, and what's nice is that it's a lot easier to get now, too. It's not as pricey, and it's had a couple of reprints. I'm using, basically one of each of different rarities I have, too, so as you guys can see. But yeah, it's the hand trap monster that I really like using, and it comes in handy. So just having that ability to also destroy a monster like that with it, too, can go really well against a lot of different decks. So obviously, that's the reason I think 3 of them are definitely worth having. But if you kind of want to go with Ash Blossom, you can do that too. Alright, now we're moving on to our spell cards, which these are really self-explanatory too on these. So first off, I am running 3 of Trade-In. I mean, with all these level 8 monsters that we have, with all the Blue Eyes White Dragons, yeah, it is really easy to use this. Get it to the graveyard, draw 2 cards. So that's pretty much one of your draw engines you're using. As well as 2 of cards of Consonants. Same idea, it's just this time you're going to use your tuner monsters, whether it be Stone of Ancients or of Legend. There you go. You discard it, you're gaining an effect from it, which is great with Legends, especially. I mean, with Legends, then you're just able to discard, as it even shows in the artwork, then you are drawing 2 cards from that, and then you're adding a Blue Eyes to your hand because of Stone of Legend's effect. That's what you're able to do. You're drawing 2 cards and get a Blue Eyes to your hand. That is a really good combo, simple combo to use, and helps out a ton. I mean, both of these will help you draw more cards and get monsters to the graveyard stuff too, which is what you want to happen anyway. Then after that, of course, I am running 3 of the Melody of Awakening Dragon. Yeah, it's Lord of D with the guitar. You gotta go with that first off. But in all seriousness, this card is just a great searcher for you. I mean, basically, when you use it, I mean, just like we said before, you don't mind discarding cards. You still have Stone of Legend and Ancients. Discard them. You get their effects from that too. And then you're able to search for, essentially, 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons to your hand. And in most cases, you want to go for a regular Blue Eyes White Dragon and a Blue Eyes Alternative because, again, then you set up to be able to show your opponent, okay, I have Blue Eyes White Dragon, and then summon Blue Eyes Alternative after that. Or, of course, if you have a couple of Blue Eyes Alternative in your hand already, or at least one, you can add 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons, or vice versa. It just helps you set up for what you need, and it's a great searcher. So, obviously, you gotta have 3 of those. It shouldn't need to be explained, but yeah, I just felt like, just in case someone is wondering on that, it just helps you search so well with the deck, you need 3. Then next up, of course, 3 of Return of the Dragon Lords. And man, am I glad this card got a reprint, because it was getting kind of pricey, actually, especially from being from a structure deck. But yeah, basically this is your Monster Reborn for your Blue Eyes White Dragons. It's that simple. It's just there to help you bring them out. And then also too, once in the graveyard, it can still protect your Blue Eyes. So with it, you essentially get 3 extra Monster Reborns, including the one which we'll get to in a little bit because it's off the ban list for us. So it's just a great revival card and also protects them. Now from some of the newer cards, I guess too, I am also running 2 of a Dragon Revival Rhapsody. This card is really cool when you use it right. I mean, it's basically a mini soul charge. You want to think of it like that. With it, of course, yes, you may be wondering why I'm not running like King of D or Lord of D, but with my build, they don't really come in handy that much. And also, as you guys have probably already noticed, we already have some Spellcaster monsters that we're using because of Sage with Eyes of Blue, and then, of course, Master with Eyes of Blue. They're both Spellcasters, and you're going to use them in this deck anyway, so they work really well with Rhapsody for that reason. And again, when you have them on your side of the field, which is really easy to do, and then especially later on in the game when you do have some Blue Eyes White Dragons in your graveyard, it's a mini soul charge for you. You can't do any damage that turn, but you can set up your field very well with that. Go for a Synchro Summon, do whatever you want, and it works out really well. So, since we already do have Spellcasters, again, like I said, it works really well just to be thrown into basically any build of Blue Eyes for that reason. Then next up, of course, 2 of Dragon Shrine. It's basically your Foolish Burial for dragons. I mean, I don't think anything else needs to be said there. 2 of Silver's Cry. Again, why not have some more Monster Reborns? That's basically what you're doing with this card. It's essentially a couple extra Monster Reborns that are quick plays that you can use to bring out Blue Eyes White Dragons. So, obviously, that's great to have. And also, reprinted, by the way. I love the secret rare on those. Then after that, I'm using 1 of 1 for 1. We have a lot of level 1 monsters, might as well do that, and I don't mind discarding my cards either, like I said earlier, so that gives you a lot of options. Soul Charge, because a lot of monsters go into the graveyard, might as well bring back a ton of Blue Eyes White Dragons. Monster Reborn, it's off the ban list, so yeah, obviously every deck needs to use this. And then Upstart Goblin, to just help you thin down the deck even more, give you an extra draw card. So why not? Pretty much makes so the deck is 39 cards then, you know? Alright, now moving on to the extra deck, I am running 1 of Blue Eyes Twin Burst Dragon. So yeah, this is basically the only fusion you're going to be running. First off too, I know some people were confused last time I did a Blue Eyes deck profile. You don't need polymerization for this card. It is a contact fusion. So you have 2 Blue Eyes on your side of the field, you go for this card. You send it to graveyard, you summon this. That's how it works. So I remember some people asking me about that, and it's just a great card for Blue Eyes. I mean, you want to run it in any build just because it's easy to bring out and does some damage. So yeah, it's really that simple on that. Then for Synchro Monsters, I am running 2 Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. And then, of course, after that, 2 of Azure Eyes Silver Dragon, because, again, you got to have 2 of each of these with our tuner monsters. Easy to bring them out. In most cases, too, you're going to go for Spirit Dragon first. And then after that, Spirit Dragon's effect can turn it into other light Synchro Monsters. Dragon Synchro Monsters, I should say. So with that, of course, too, you have access to Black Rose Moonlight Dragon, which is always a great option to have because it can send an opponent's monster back to the hand. Or if it's an extra deck monster, it goes to the extra deck, obviously. So you have access to this. So I'm running one of those. And also, you can just go for Azure Eyes, by the way, so in case, because Azure Eyes will protect itself from the destruction effect after Spirit Dragon, but also, when you're using Spirit Dragon to bring out Moonlight, remember, it can't protect itself from the destruction effect. So in most cases, you're going to want to use it during your turn, then after that, you have this monster, you're returning a opponent's monster back to their hands, and then, if you still have a way where you can bring out a level 1 tuner monster, which you should be able to, you can also bring out Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. So yeah, that's the reason I'm running this, because of course you need a Synchro Monster and a Tuner Monster to bring this out. Yeah, if you have Moonlight Dragon already on your side of the field in your turn, like I said, then you use its effect. It stays on the field because at the end of the turn it'll blow itself up, but then you get to use one of your Tuner Monsters, summon it, Synchro Summon those together, Crystal Wing. There you go. That's the strategy, and you guys know having Crystal Wing on your side of the field obviously helps out a ton. Then, of course, now with Xyz monsters, I am using one of Sylvan Princess Sprite. Obviously, with all these level 1s, might as well have a rank 1 Xyz, and it's pretty much the best one, too. So, I'm going with that. Number 38, Hope Harbinger Dragon Titanic Galaxy. It's just a good rank 8 to have, obviously, and you gotta have it, basically. It's just one of those staples. Again, it's a little bit pricier card to get. I hope that we'll see a reprint soon. I think we could see that, like in Battles of Legend. You can use other things if you need to, if you're kind of going for more of a budget. But, I mean, obviously, since I have it, I'm going with that because it's one of the best rank 8s. Then, of course, I'm also running one of Galaxy Eyes Cypher Dragon. Again, basically same reasoning on that. Number 107, Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon. Again, I don't have to explain that. It is what it is. And then number 95, Galaxy Eyes Dark Matter Dragon. So yeah, you can rank up Galaxy Eyes Cypher Dragon or, of course, Tachyon Dragon into this. You're able to send dragons from your deck to the graveyard, which, again, you have your Stone of Ancients and Legends. So those to the graveyard, you're getting new cards from. You're getting more Blue Eyes White Dragons from it. And it can attack everything and has 4,000 attack. So, yeah, you're going to be doing a ton of damage with that. It's an old combo, obviously, to use, and one that still does really well for you. So, there you go. Might as well use the Galaxy Eyes engine with this, because they can summon it just as easy. And then, of course, for Link monsters, I'm running one of Link Karibo, because, yeah, again, we have level 1 monsters. Link Karibo is great for that. You can use other options if you need to, but yeah, it's a good option for now. And I have heard rumors, at least, that's going to get reprinted hopefully sometime soon. It sounds like it might. Again, it was a rumor, so that should kind of help the deck too be a little cheaper for people out there. Then, of course, Decode Talker, because I run that in everything, honestly. And Saryuja Skull Dread. With this one, too, it's another one you can use whatever Link 4 that you have, if you want to. Saryuja is just another one of those, I have it, so I'm going to go with it. But if you want to, you can use basically anything. If you want to use a couple of Decode Talkers even, go with whatever you have, basically. Because Link monsters really don't matter too much with this deck, because you're just going to summon Blue Eyes White Dragon most of the time and run over your opponent. You don't really bring out a ton of extra deck stuff in most cases. So, Link monsters don't matter as much, so you can kind of go with what you want. Like I said, you can go with a budget on that. That's something you don't have to be too expensive with. And yeah, there you go. That is my Blue Eyes White Dragon deck profile. So, of course, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. It's a lot of fun to use Blue Eyes White Dragon. I mean, just the nostalgia and the power that Blue Eyes has is just amazing. So, I was really happy to do an update on this and had a reason to because Legendary Collection Kaiba. And yeah, I gotta say, it's a lot of fun to build. It's just a shame that Blue Eyes Alternative is, you know, on the expensive side right now, especially because of hype and everything, and it wasn't reprinted in this Legendary Collection because it would make this deck a lot easier for you guys to build out there. So that's the only thing that's a little bit tough to get, but really everything else I try to go as close to budget as possible because I think you guys kind of enjoy that a little bit more, where it's close to budget, but also competitive, and that's what I try to go for on this. So yeah, be sure to hit that like button if you want to see more deck profiles, because if you guys are enjoying this kind of content, it makes me want to make more of it too. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and of course subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh openings, deck profiles, other Yu-Gi-Oh related content, and of course I will catch you guys later. See ya.